New from Vinegar Syndrome on 4K as always, unnecessarily so, is Witch Story from 1989, a movie that has a remarkably familiar premise. A group of kids are going to stay at a house that one of them seems to have owned. It's come into their ownership one way or another, doesn't really matter. All their friends are going there, it's kind of dilapidated, but they're going to make the best of it and have a fantastic weekend just partying and enjoying life.
I told you need a little fixing up.
Yeah, the only thing that can fix this place is a wrecking ball.
Fucking A, rats probably don't even live.
Rats? Did he say rats?
All right, look.
It's never going to be that simple because, of course, there's a little bit of a backstory of a mother and daughter being killed there after they have worshipped the devil, promising to come back, and the little girl constantly appears, possessing people, and carnage just carries on from there. It is remarkably familiar and tropey in what it's doing, but it's also kind of fun at the same time.
What a Looney Tune! That boy needs a priest.
He is a priest.
It's crazy. I can't believe he did that.
We have these group of characters, all who are just caricatures, none who are really individuals, and none who really stand out, which I kind of like, because for the most part, I wasn't really sure who was going to be the main players of this movie, who was going to survive and who wasn't. There is one really annoying character who's constantly being teased about his weight, who just seems to be revelling in that gluttony that he has. It's almost off-putting. In fact, it is off-putting at several points.
Eating is the greatest thing in life without taking your pants off.
So we have this one location, which is pretty effective. You know, you get there, it's kind of dilapidated, it's run down, but they get together and fix everything. I kind of liked most of the characters, even though they don't stand out as anything other than just a caricature. And I kind of liked when all the blood and guts happen, because they really push into it. They go out of their way to be super gory and overly malicious with it as well. Even from that opening sequence where we see a group of angry townsfolk banding together, trooping all the way up to this person's house and then brutally murdering them in the name of whatever they want to claim. It is horrifying and horrific.
I curse these weak and pious cowards!
Enough!
And it just gives you an insight to what you're going to get into in this one. When you get the group of characters at the house and the little girl starts to possess everybody, you're never quite sure who's going to become the killer, because they start to just act normally, and then all of a sudden they're doing something really gory and icky and destroying somebody, which, you know, is kind of fun as well. Witch Story is a typical piece of late 80s horror. I feel that maybe the wonderful transfer that Vinegar Syndrome have done here, and maybe the fact that there are many characters and it feels as if the budget's just a little bit more than I normally see in these kind of movies, but I rather enjoyed it. Even though the characters weren't memorable, even though their interactions were sometimes grating and annoying, I still had fun with it. I had fun with the idea of this one character that was related to another one, but just kind of thought, it's far enough removed that, you know, we could still do things. And his rationalised, the way he rationalised that was just incredibly hilarious to me.
Hi, I'm Simona, your cousin.
Hi, I'm Ed.
Some of the characters and the situations they end up in are just downright funny. There's plenty of blood and guts and plenty of fake outs as well. And I found this quite jarring at times, where characters would be brutally murdered and somebody would wake up to be just a dream, and then those characters would carry on for a little while longer and then maybe be brutally murdered, and you're like, is this another dream or is it actually happening? It kind of loses its way a little bit in the middle of the movie, becoming bogged down its own story as we kind of follow the priest from the start of the film as they try to track him down and bring him back into it. But at the end of the thing, it really ramps up the blood, the gore, all the things that you want in these kind of movies, and finishes remarkably strongly. Witch Story, fun movie, cool effects, boring characters, interesting scenario, and a little bit of money put behind those effects and make it all wonderful. The transfer is, as always, phenomenal. It looks and sounds terrific, and I, for the most part, really enjoyed Witch Story, which is one I didn't know much about. There's not really much of a witch story in it. It's more a little precursor to the rest of the movie, but I was fine with that. It's incredibly 80s, and I like that. I'd love to know your thoughts on Witch Story, so let me know in the comment box below whether you love it, hate it, fall somewhere in the middle. Yeah, let me know. We'll have a little chit chat about this one. As always, there is more content up here. You can see more of my stuff if you're interested. In the description box below are links to Patreon, membership program, and manvfilm.com, always in which you can support me. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.